Welcome to another session of Institutions Innovation Council. So today's topic is process of innovation development. For that, we are having expert with us, Dr. Kapila Kumar. She's working as an associate professor in Department of Biotechnology, Manavrachna International Institute of Research and Studies, as well as she's a director in Molecular Biosciences Research Cluster Lab in the same institute. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay. So I think I'm addressing a mixed audience of students. Maybe
right, from engineering, from management and computer applications.
All graduation students, right?
Undergraduate students, yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay, so hello all. I will try to make this session as interesting and interactive as possible. So because you might be undergoing this torture of having continuous lectures on innovation and still no idea where to start and where to go. So I don't think they'll be able to switch on their cameras, right?
I can give the rights if they want to.
Okay. Or maybe they can ask their queries in the chat box.
Right, ma'am.
So students, I intend to deliver on process of innovation development, but the journey is long. So let us first understand where we are heading with this, because innovation, discovery, and research are overhyped words these days, and without even understanding the meaning of these words, we are proceeding in today's times, because it has become very fast now, accelerated process of reaching to a particular goal in this area. But then without understanding what is the process to reach there, or what actually these words mean, I think we won't be able to linger on too far. So research, as the word suggests, it is researching. So what is already existing, we are just discovering that, and discovering what is already there, we can call it research. However, I know there is a process of doing research also, and you might have heard about it, but I'll stick to my topic of how innovations can be developed and what is the process about it. So I will also share my personal experiences to make it more clear, but let us first understand the difference between research, discovery, and innovation. I think I've told you about research and discovery. Now let us focus on innovation. Innovation term is most preferentially used for those aspects of research which can be commercialized, which can go to the market, or where we can cater to the society. If we are not addressing the problems of the ground, I think innovation has no meaning. So when research mounts to a level where we are addressing societal problems, where we are problem solving, I think, and where we are able to bring it to the market and commercialize it, it becomes innovation. So basically, innovation is that idea or a practice or a project, an object that is perceived as new, or which is an improvement over the existing ones. I think the description is very much simple and clearer on this part. We are focusing on two major points here, that it can be anything, a project, product, practice, or an idea, which is either an improvement or which is novel, but which is catering to the social system which is going to the ground, which is going to solve the problems of the people. So there can be few questions that may come to the mind during this process of innovation is, from where do these innovations come from? I mean, sitting at a particular place on my bench, can I think of innovations? I mean, I cannot think of innovations in a click of time unless I am observant enough, unless I am observing my surroundings, unless I am observing the problems of the people around me, which can be very simple. What are the factors that influence their origin? So factors can be multiple. I mean, it can start from biological factors to psychological factors to creative factors. I mean, if I am a person who is sane, who is in pure state of mind, and I'm observing the problems of people around me, and I'm thinking that, can I come up with a simple solution to this problem? There starts the brainstorming. There starts the sessions within yourself, and then you start discussing it with your maybe like-minded people or your colleagues or your friends that, see, I have observed this problem, and can we apply this simple solution to solve this problem? How does their origin influence later their diffusion and consequences? This is where most of us fail to deliver, because we may come up with some ideas or some products that are sufficient enough to solve problems. We have overcome all those factors that were pulling us back, but still the product is yet to diffuse to the market, and some consequences have to follow. I mean, the product is a hit or it has solved a problem where we have to analyze that whether our solution is impacting the society or not. So these are the three major factors where, from where to start, what are the ideas, what are the factors that are influencing it, and finally, what are the conclusions or consequences or diffusion part of your idea. Now, there are multiple things when it comes to, I don't know if some of you are incubated as startups or not, or maybe how well you are aware of the incubation and innovation system in your institute, or maybe other incubators around you. But there are following important milestones that you have to cover in order to make an idea into an innovation. So the development process consists of all the decisions that you take, all the activities that you perform, and their impact that occur from recognition of a need of problem through research, development, and commercialization of innovation. Let us understand this point by point. So we are taking all the decisions that are required for this idea to become an innovation. We are performing all the activities, and we are assessing their impact as well, that are occurring from recognition of the need or the problem. So first thing that I told you is observe around yourself, come up with a problem that needs addressal. Unless there is an unmet need of addressal, your innovation would be of no use. Even if you have created something new which is already being addressed in a proper manner in the society, your innovation would be of no use to the society. So through research, development, and commercialization of innovation, and finally the diffusion and adoption of your innovation by the users, to the consequences that are followed after the innovation, complete the process of this innovation development. I hope I'm clear on this. If there are any queries at this point of time, you can please ask.
Anyone, any query? Students?
You make the most of it, because not always does this happen that we are discussing on basic things, you know.
Right.
We are, yes, any prompt? No. Okay. So here in this lecture, we are addressing the basics of what has to be understood before proceeding further, because then there is no stoppage. Nobody is going to hold your hand. Once you have entered the market, you have to make it through. Okay. So there are 6 main stages in the innovation development process. That is the need or the problem recognition. And because you are taking up the problem from the society, you will be very sure that at the end of this process, you will be finally adding some value to the society. After recognizing the problem, you go to research. You start searching of what is already known. You do the gap analysis, that what was left behind, why, what was the reason, and how we can address that. So that is part of research. Now all these processes require time, a lot of time. Okay. Even if you are coming with a very simple solution to a problem, you need to address the literature that is existing. You need to understand what are the gaps that are there, and you need to set your objectives and timelines according to that. So that's part of research. And once you are done with all whatever is known from the past literature or past work by other researchers, now you have come up with a concrete idea of how you will perform your project further. And there comes the development part. Now the main troubleshooting occurs in the development stage, where you know that what you have to achieve, but to achieve that you find many roadblocks, and those roadblocks have to be covered. At each step you have to troubleshoot, and there is no manual for troubleshooting. You have to assess your situation, where you are stuck, and who or what can be the solution for your problem. So the development part requires, I can say, the most creative stage of a researcher, where you are troubleshooting, because maybe for every different kind of project, newer ideas would work for troubleshooting. I hope you understand what I meant by troubleshooting, where we are solving routine problems that are occurring. And finally, when you have come up with your project as a prototype or as a proof of concept, or something which is deliverable and something which is worth showing, or worth picturizing, what has come up from your mind now to a piece of paper, or maybe in the form of a product on your table, which can be shown to the interested people, maybe investors, or like-minded people who are able to fund you more, or who can help mobilize your inventions into the market. There comes the commercialization stage. So I think you will be appreciating the fact that we have come from the level of observant to a researcher, from a troubleshooter to now a person who understands some bit of business and who understands market and funds. Because whatever you do, I don't think without funding, bringing any product to market is possible. Finally, when you have commercialized, I mean, you have bring it down to a scale where you can put it up to the public. You have to see how it will diffuses and how people will adapt to it. I think somebody is writing on the screen, and these are not.
Let me check. Yes, ma'am. Let me check. You may continue.
Because it creates confusion if I am writing or not. So after commercialization, after bringing your product to the market, you have to see whether your product will diffuse Diffusion means whether it will be adapted or taken up or absorbed by the people who are your potential consumers. So innovations should be such which has to meet following criteria so that the public is curious, either curious to test your product, or it is that cost effective that they really want to go for it, or it is that interesting and creates excitement amongst people that they want to adapt those processes or products. And finally, you have to see the consequences of it. Monica ma'am, I think we have to change access.
Yes, ma'am, doing the same now.
Maybe I'll stop for a second because it creates a lot of distraction.
Ma'am? Ma'am, you can share your screen.
Yes, am I audible and visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes, I think we were at this point where we understood the main stages of the innovation development process. So what do we actually do when we recognize a problem? It is the first stage, as we discussed in innovation development process. And once we have addressed or we have analyzed a situation where a problem needs addressal, it stimulates the next stage, that is research and development activities that needs to be done to solve these problems. Now, the efforts to promote change through extension and development programs are successful only to the extent they are focused on the important needs of the people. Unless we are addressing the important needs of the people, we are not able to we will not be able to effectively solve those problems. So it is very important to understand the needs of the people. Only then we will be able to effectively solve them. Now, the term technology is often used in synonymous with innovation. Also, the term research and discoveries are used in synonymous with innovation. Mostly technological innovations are created by scientific research as well as interplay of research and practical problems. But we need to understand that technology is a tool. However, innovation is an idea. Innovation is a product which can be formed with the help of technology. Technology is not innovation. So the knowledge base for technology usually is derived from basic research, and it can be used as a tool to finally innovate. Now, scientific knowledge is put into practice as an innovation that will solve a problem. Applied researchers are the main users for this basic research. So innovation or invention may result from a sequence of basic research, applied research, and finally leading to the development. Now, again, people sometimes are confused that what is basic research and what is applied research. So the basic research is usually exploratory in nature. I mean, where you want to explore what is existent. However, applied research is always application based. Okay. In the development stage, I have already discussed that we are actually applying our research and development in two distinct phases, and development of innovation is putting that idea into a form that is expected to meet the need of adopters. And this phase usually occurs after research as part of the creation of innovation, and it mostly completes your troubleshooting process. Now here comes the commercialization part. I think there is a lot of distraction from one or two students who are disturbing the whole session. Maybe they can leave the session if they are not interested, and let the people who want to listen, let them listen. Somebody by the name Abha Jain is continuously disturbing. There are few students who are, I mean, this is not up to the mark. So commercialization is the production, manufacturing, packaging, marketing, and distribution of a product, which is your innovation. And it is conversion of an idea from research into the product or service for sale in the marketplace. Now, many innovations, they result from research related activities. However, all innovations do not come from R&D. R&D is usually performed in those areas which are more research based areas. Now we can address a problem like you can design a U pin or a safety pin that is solving a particular kind of problem, but that does not require much of research. So that's not an innovation that has come from R&D. That's an innovation that is coming from maybe practice, or maybe observing nature, or maybe simple problem solving. Now, finally comes the diffusion and adoption of your innovation by the society, or the adopters, we can say, or whatever was the market that you were finally targeting. So R&D workers, they become very cautious when it comes to the time to translate their scientific findings into practice. Usually, mostly researchers who become innovators, they fail in these stages of commercialization, diffusion, and adoption, where the target market maybe either does not accept it in required proportions, or the demand and supply stability is not there. Finally, after if your innovation has been taken up by the adapters, consequences are the changes that occur in the individual or the social system as a result of your innovation. So if your innovation has been adopted or rejected, finally, what are the changes you are expecting in the social system, or what you are observing in the social system? They are the consequences, and that is the final phase of innovation. Now, these are some personal experiences where we have followed our instincts, and we have performed and produced some products that were relevant to the market or the society, or on a global front where we were addressing some of the tasks of healthcare, or maybe the regulatory bodies. But finally, the crux is you have to have an idea first. Then you have to believe in your idea that it is doable, it is feasible, and you can deliver it. Then you have to pursue that idea to a level where it is converted into a product. And sometimes you have to start again if there are rejections, and if you think that the product is not what you ideated in the beginning, or if you think maybe you have designed one product and delivered it, but what next? So these are some of the journeys that we have covered. Myself with my students have incubated startups, and we are using our research facility to make some biological products that are useful for the environment, for the healthcare industry. And but even after you have successfully performed in a particular project or delivered a particular product, finally again you have to, for the next product, you have to again sit, brainstorm, you have to ideate, make it in a concrete form, and then pursue it. So the journey of a creative mind never stops, and it has to be fed up with newer things. So you have to start over again, and every time the journey will seem equally difficult, because it is always a newer experience every time. Though you learn from your mistakes and failures, but still you have to put in those extra efforts every time. So with this, I would like to finish this talk. Thank you so much. We were still left with 5 minutes, but I think the audience is not responding in a way that we expected. So if there are any questions, they're welcome, or if you want to connect with me, you can take my connect from Dr. Monica. Dr. Monica, you can share my mail ID maybe with the interested students. I don't think there are any queries, because the session was very disturbing from the student side.
Yeah, I apologize for that, ma'am.
That's okay. But if there are some people who are genuinely interested in knowing things, they are welcome. And that's the simplest form where I could put it in a PPT. What is the process of innovation development? So
I received a question from a student, ma'am.
yes, please.
What, according to you, is the biggest challenge in the process of innovation?
I think all the 6 stages are a challenge in themselves. Starting from problem identification, and then there are stages where people fail. At every stage people fail, but then you will see many people who have emerged out from all the 6 stages and are successful. So still, I would say the most difficult phase is commercialization and diffusion, where you have the product, but you have to find a relevant market for it. And even if you have found the market, you have to sustain in the market. So those 2 stages are the most difficult. Other stages can be covered in the lab, but then when you have to go out of the lab as a researcher, and the shift from researcher to innovator is difficult. But yes,
Okay,
people have overcome that. So those who are interested, they can do that.
right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sparing your precious time and interacting with us.
Thank you, Dr. Monica. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.